Hey there, boils and ghouls. It's your friend Tats. I'm back with a new video. Yeah, we got a 4K to talk about today. Got this one. This just came from Arrow. Um, yeah, I mean, this actually was almost about 40 bucks for a little bit there, and then it almost seemed like right at the last minute it dropped down to 24.99, and I decided, after reading the synopsis and everything, it sounded like a winner. I thought I'd give it a shot. The movie I'm talking about today is Incubus from 1966, starring William Shatner. And, I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy this or don't buy it, but I thought we'd just kind of go over it here in a minute and we talk about, we'll talk about what's on the 4K, how the 4K looks and stuff like that. And then also kind of give you an idea about what the movie's about. So, because that's the thing, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have never really heard of this movie, so they don't really know about it. And I'm probably willing to guess this probably isn't going to be the biggest seller that Arrow's ever had, but I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. But yeah, we'll get to that in just one second. If I can just show you two other things I picked up, if you don't mind. Um, if you remember my last video, my first 4K of the year was Arrow's 4K for Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And in that video, I said that I wanted to get the 4K for The Invasion. Long story short, I got The Invasion on 4K. This is one that I said when I made that video, I said I'm, kind of holding out hope because Elvira dropped down to that price point. I'm hoping that the Invasion will drop down to that price point, and then if when it does, I'm going to jump on that. Guess what? The very next day after I made that video, posted it, the Invasion dropped down to $24.99. So I jumped on it, and so I'm happy to have it. Like I said, definitely not the best of the Invasion of the Body Snatchers movies, but I wanted to have them because I got the other two on 4K, and now, like I said, if we can just get Hey Arrow, if you can get to work on that, if we can just get Abel Ferrara's movie Body Snatchers on 4K, we're good to go, man. We have all the at least I know of, we have all the versions of the Invasion of the Body Snatchers on 4K. So yeah, so nice to pick this bad boy up. And this here, I couldn't resist. I've been trying to, one of the things I really wanted to do was try to go for 4Ks that were in a more reasonable price range, usually between $20 to $30. That's kind of, but this here, I saw it at my local Walmart, and even though it cost me $51, I couldn't help it. I really wanted to see this because I liked the movie and I was really interested. I picked up Midsummer, the director's cut. I'm not going to go into too much on this because I think everybody else has already showed this off. But but yeah, I saw this. It was 46.49, I think I want to say. But it was like $51 after tax and everything. So yeah, so I went and bought this, and now watch. Probably now that I bought this, they'll turn around and put out here in a couple of months or so. They'll probably turn around and put out a much more affordable, like 4K steelbook or even just a standard edition or something like that. But I went in and got it because I like the movie, and it was fun to revisit it now in the almost 3 hour cut. So it was nice to see it that way. But yeah, and this is buying something like this though too is kind of helping me with my FOMO because um, you know I'm starting to notice like a lot of this limited stuff now doesn't seem so limited anymore. But that's a topic for another video. But yeah, so I picked these bad boys up. So here we go. So I think so far 2025, at least for 4Ks, is off to a good start. Also, also too, before we get going, I just want to take a moment to say, to all of you out there in California who are having to battle with the fires, and people in Louisiana having to, battle, to all the people in the states right now that are having to deal with really, really horrible weather conditions and fires and floods and being snowed in and everything else. I I sincerely hope you are all doing well. I hope you are all taking care of yourself, take care of each other, and I hope you all get through this. I really, honestly, sincerely do. And I'm a dipshit because if I really had any heart, I would have started the video off that way. But no, to all of you, just hopefully, just nothing but the best for all of you. Please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. All right, so Seems to be the usual thing. We're about 5 minutes into the video now. So now we're going to finally talk about the real reason we're here. Is like I said today, Arrow put out this 4K of Incubus. I believe you can also get a Blu-ray version of it. Um, yeah, I went with the 4K because it dropped down to $24.99. It was actually cheaper than the Blu-ray, for crying out loud. But just yeah, I mean, just I'd never seen this movie before. I never owned it on any format or anything like that. Yeah, this was the first time watch for me, and um, but like I said, it dropped down to $24.99, which to me, like between $20-$30, that's a reasonable price range for 4Ks. And just this just lured me in. Listen to this. Evil has never been so seductive. It is often said that films about the devil are cursed with bad luck, but Leslie Stevens' Incubus might be the most cursed of them all. By the time it premiered in 1966, two of its stars had tragically taken their own lives. The eccentric director's insistence on filming in the obscure Esperanto language ensured it failed to receive any distribution, and it was nearly lost forever when the original elements were believed lost in a fire. Decades passed until it was finally saved and unveiled to the public in all its unholy glory. I mean, does that not want to draw you into wanting to watch this? And me, I'm a big sucker for these movies about the occult and things like that. I think you can kind of tell stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it sounded like an interesting movie, and you get some really good bonus features on here. Just real quick, we'll go through this. 4K restoration from the last surviving 35 millimeter print by Lechat Fume. I hope I pronounced that right. 4K 2160p Ultra HD Blu-ray presented in Dolby Vision HDR10 compatible. Original lossless Esperanto mono audio, optional English subtitles, optional Esperanto subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, new audio commentary by writer and genre historian David J. Scow, author of The Outer Limits, The Official Companion, archive audio commentary by star William Shatner, archive audio commentary by producer Anthony Taylor, cinematographer Conrad L. Hall, and camera operator William Fraker. Alternate 137:1 presentation of the film, 1080p only. Words and Worlds, Incubus and Esperanto in Cinema, a newly filmed interview with genre historian Stephen Bissett. Internacia Lingo? Sorry. A History of Esperanto, a newly filmed interview with Esther Shore, author of Bridge of Words Esperanto and the Dream of a Universal Language, an interview with the makers of Incubus, an archive interview with Scow, and Taylor, Hall, and Fraker, video trailer, reversible sleeve featuring newly commissioned artwork by Richard Wells, illustrated collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by Frank Collins and Jason Krupa. So yeah, so you get a good, nice amount of bonus features. Excuse me. Pretty much your typical what you see on the back of a slipcover for Arrow, which by the way is nice. This is like embossed and everything. Well, the letters are embossed. Okay, yeah, just the letters for Incubus, but yeah, it's a nice design. So anyway, so we're gonna pop this bad boy out. We'll say that the slipcover is a little snug on there, and you got this one here, and then I believe it's the reversible artwork is pretty much the same thing, but I believe the words there are all in Esperanto. So, yeah, that's unfortunately I don't speak Esperanto. That's not going to do me a lot of good. So I'm going to have to go with just the good old English right here. And then there we go. That's the inside of it. You got your 4K disc there. You got your little card advertising Demolition Man. I know some people are like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why didn't you get Demolition Man on 4K? I gotta be honest. I know this is probably gonna sound sacrilegious, but I gotta be honest. Like, Demolition Man just isn't really my favorite Stallone movie, to be honest with you. I don't know. But anyway, so now we got our booklet here. There's front. There's the back. With the Queen of Evil, I guess you could say. And then, there you go. You got the black goat, which Definitely, yeah. If you're a fan of The Witch or The Vitch, depending on how you want to say it, definitely make you think of that. So, yeah. And then there's our main actress there, Kaya, who is played by what's her name? Hang on one second. Allison Ames. So there we go. Mm, you know, the guy being drowned at the beginning of the movie. So, and what else do we have? The monk had up to some nefarious stuff here. And there he is, good old young William Shatner. Um, yeah, I believe this was like a year or two right before he started doing Star Trek. And Leslie Stevens, who wrote and directed this movie, actually he did this. I believe he did this right after The Outer Limits. He created The Outer Limits, was a writer for the show and everything. But yeah, he created The Outer Limits, and it ran from '63 to '65, I want to say. So yeah, I think the show ended, and he was just like, I need to make a movie, so or I want to make a movie, one or the other, and so yeah, so he decided to make this bad boy, and yeah, I mean it's pretty basic, pretty simple, and I think for 29.9 or 24.99, I think you're getting a good price for this. The picture quality on here. That's the thing. They talk about how this movie was rescued and everything else. I not casing this bad boy up. So I know I keep saying bad boy, but anyway, sorry, I'm a little tired right now. So hang on. You're gonna be stubborn, aren't you? Okay, there we go. But yeah. So anyway, for $24.99, I think you're getting a good price for this. If you're interested in checking it out. The picture quality on here is really good. Like I don't know what kind of shape the 35 millimeter film print was in, but it looks really gorgeous. On the TV. The black and white, it has that kind of mix of both kind of new wave, kind of experimental kind of a looking film mixed with like a television series. It definitely has a very strong look of like a Outer Limits episode, which consider who made the movie is like, yeah, that makes sense. But it definitely has a strong look of a Outer Limits episode. But like I said, but also too, with the Esperanto language, it definitely makes you think of those kind of like art house films, independent kind of low budget films from the '60s and everything else. And it looks great. It looks gorgeous. I'm willing to bet that this is probably the best this movie has ever looked. Um, like I said, unfortunately, I really have nothing to compare it to. Like I said, I've never owned this movie. I never heard of it until Arrow announced they're going to put it out. But it looks great. The sound is you know because of the mono. There were a couple of instances where I mean, if you got a surround sound system or a sound bar, you're going to be fine. But just with regular TV speakers, I did have to turn it up a couple of notches. And there's a weird scene where Shatner's sister Artemis, she's blinded by an eclipse, and the evil. I call her Mother of Evil. I don't know what else to call her. She comes up to her and she's telling her to find Shatner's character, and it's like she's speaking, but for some reason no voice is coming out. I'm not sure what the deal on that was, but anyway, so I'm sure if I finish watching all the commentaries on here, I'll probably figure that out. But anyway, but yeah, it looks good. It sounds good. Some of the bonus features on here are pretty impressive. And there's a 43-minute, I think, featurette about the Esperanto language, in case if you were, a linguistic, you have an interest in, languages and things like that. You want to check it out. That's good to look at. Some other stuff too. Yeah, but I mean, this is a nice addition for the money. Um, but overall, I was impressed with it. I do like these kind of films. I will say this kind of movie isn't going to be for everybody, and I think that's kind of now we're going to kind of segue into the what the movie's about. And um, like I said, I'm not going to tell you buy it or don't buy it. I'm just hoping that this is going to be at least informative enough that you can say, okay, maybe I might want to check that out. at some point, or it's just nah, this doesn't sound like my cup of tea. But the story, it's a pretty interesting story. It's about these group of succubuses on this kind of island, and there's this well that the waters have kind of, you know, like healing powers. You know, they could make the blind see, or like in the case of William Shatner's character, he's a soldier who was wounded in war, and he's drinking water from the well because so that his wounds will heal and he can walk and everything else. But the succubuses, their thing is they lure in immoral people, just vain people, evil people, just people with no real moral compass. So they lure them in, they have them drink from this well and everything, and then these succubuses seduce and kill these men, or just people, really. They seduce and kill these immoral people so that they can give their souls to Satan. So anyway, so this one Kaya, the main character, the main female lead of the movie, she decides that she's tired of, going after, like just immoral people. She, like she wants to elevate herself in the eyes of Satan. So what she wants to do is she wants to deliver to him a very pure and good and honest soul, a saintly kind of a person, and so that's kind of her mission now. And so we come across Mark, who is William Shatner's character. Like I said, he was a soldier who was wounded in war, and he's recovering, and he's drinking from the well so that he can walk properly, and his wounds will heal and things like this. Him and his sister Artemis, um, they're just kind of living this quiet little life in their cottage and stuff. And Kaya sees Kaya sees Mark, and she sees that he is exactly what she's looking for. She wants to seduce him and kill him so she can deliver his soul to Satan. So she goes to him, and even though the mother of evil is telling her like, "Don't do it," he's a pure soul. You can't really work on him and stuff. But she's like, "I'm gonna get this guy, no matter what I do. I'm gonna get this guy. I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give his soul to Satan, and Satan is gonna think I'm just the girl boss, pretty much." And so she goes and she tries to seduce Mark, but his charm and his just being a good guy and everything else starts to win her over, and she starts to fall in love with him. And this is something she did not expect to have happen. And so at one point, she's asleep, and so he takes her into a church for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but he decides, he says, "I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to take you home." Instead of taking her home, he takes her to a church, which freaks her out, obviously, because she's a succubus. She's a female demon. And so, she realizes that, now that she's in love with him, she doesn't want to, she's having a much harder time condemning his soul to hell. And, but she is furious at him for taking her into a church. So they decide to raise the Incubus, who is the brother of the succubuses. They decide to raise him to, lure both Mark and his sister Artemis into the clutches of the devil. And so now you have Mark, he has to try to save not only his soul and his life, but the life and soul of his sister as well. And I think that's pretty much, I think I've given you enough. I don't want to go too much more into spoilers and stuff, but it's a gorgeously shot film. It looks great. Definitely plenty of atmosphere. There are a couple of little flubs there, though. Like there's like one shot where the Incubus is laying on the ground and his eyes are closed, and you kind of see his like, even though his eyes are closed, you can see his like eyes moving, behind the lids and stuff. It's like I'm not sure that was supposed to happen. I don't know. The movie does have a couple of flubs in it, but it looks great. Plenty of gothic atmosphere, a nice, effective, creepy score. It just depends. Like I said, it really depends on if you're into these kind of occult horror films, and if you like black and white films with plenty of atmosphere and stuff, then maybe you might, like this kind of thing. Um, I know, even though like I've heard the rumors about Shatner being, a difficult person and all that stuff. You can't, and I know like I did hear the part where they talked about that a lot of people who who are very into Esperanto speak are they were furious with him because they felt like he butchered the language when he's speaking it. I thought it was going to be kind of a deal where it's like every other character is speaking the language, but like he was going to speak English and his voice was dubbed. I thought that's what I thought they were going for, but turns out that's not the case. But overall, like I enjoy the movie. Even though I've heard about Shatner's reputation, he is good in this movie. He does give a good performance. He does, he shows he has a very leading man quality, and I think he did a really good job. I think the movie is effectively creepy. There are some scenes that kind of get under your skin. At least I think they do. Um, Especially certain scenes that happen with Artemis, Mark's sister. Um, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this movie and I'm happy. I feel like my money wasn't wasted. I feel like, I'm happy that I got it for a reasonable price. And I can definitely see myself watching this again. But like I said, I'm not going to tell you, like, should you buy it, should you not buy it, or whatever. I would just say, if it sounds like it's up your alley, yeah, give it a shot. If you're kind of like not into 4K, or Blu-ray for that matter, whatever. If you're just like, I mean, if just none of this sounds appealing to you, then, I'm not going to force your hand to do it, but anyway, I just kind of hope this helped a little bit. Usually I don't really have to talk much about the movie itself, but like I feel, because this has been, this movie was thought to be lost to time. So I just thought maybe I kind of, give you some insight into what the movie's about and, like I said, just let you make up your own mind. Does this sound like something you want to go for? Does it not? So, but anyway, so that's about it. I enjoyed it, and yeah, and at 74 minutes, it's a quick runtime, so you're not sitting there for a very long time. So that's kind of nice, it's a very quick, brisk pace, and it doesn't. There are some moments though where the movie does kind of slog up a little bit. Quite a few scenes of walking and everything. So, but anyway, just yeah, I mean, I'm actually happy about this, and like I said, if this is your cup of tea, I say check it out. If it doesn't sound like anything you might be interested in, or even if you're just like maybe down the line, like not right now, but maybe down the line, I'll see about picking it up. That's fine too. But yeah, so Incubus, I was actually happy about that. Glad I got a chance to see it. So then also too, glad I finally got these too. So yeah, so I think we're off to a good start, and that's it for right now. Looking forward to next week. We got, oh man, looking forward to doing those videos. We got John Carpenter's Vampires coming out. Can't wait to talk about that one. Both Kill Bills 1 and 2, Jackie Brown. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good week. So that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch all of this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I hope this video kind of helps. And yeah, if you like the video, please leave a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And that's it. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. See you all later.